When you think about motorsport today, you probably picture these high-tech, global spectacles. But it wasn't always like this. The sport has evolved from something almost unbelievably dangerous, from races on public roads, into what we see now. So how did we get from there to here? Well, the whole story really kicks off on one single day that changed everything.
I want you to get this date in your head. October 4th, 1970. On that day, the world of motorsport did something that had never, ever happened before, and thankfully has never happened since. It was a day that really defined the ultimate stakes of this sport.
It crowned a dead man as its world champion. The story of Jochen Rindt is just one of the most powerful, most tragic, and frankly unbelievable tales in all of sport. And it's the perfect frame for the journey we're about to go on. So you're probably asking, how is that even possible? Well, here's what happened. On September 5th, Rindt, who was leading the championship by a mile, was tragically killed during practice at Monza. Fast forward 1 month to October 4th. A young driver named Emerson Fittipaldi wins the U.S. Grand Prix. And with that win, he mathematically blocked Rindt's rivals from catching his points total. So in this moment that had never been seen before in sports history, Jochen Rindt was posthumously declared the 1970 Formula One world champion. It just begs the question, how could a sport possibly be this dangerous? As deadly as the 1970s were, to really understand racing's DNA, you've got to go back even further. I'm talking about the truly wild origins of the sport. Before any concept of modern safety, racing was just this untamed beast unleashed on public roads. So what's this number? 2000. Let me tell you, it's not prize money, it's not the crowd size. This is the approximate number of corners in a single lap of a race called the Targa Florio. Just let that sink in. The Targa Florio. What an event. It was this insane open-road endurance race held in the mountains of Sicily, and it ran from 1906 all the way to 1977. We are talking about race cars blasting through tiny little villages on these treacherous public roads with fans standing just feet away from the action. And this wasn't some minor league event. At its peak, it was a huge deal in the World Sports Car Championship. The scale of this thing is just hard to wrap your head around. A single lap of the main Targa circuit was 72 kilometers long, 45 miles, with thousands of corners and these crazy elevation changes. You know, to put that into perspective, a modern track like Le Mans is way, way faster. The average speed at the Targa barely got over 80 miles an hour, because it wasn't just a race for speed. It was a constant battle for survival against the road itself. Now, you'd think this almost primal culture of racing on public roads was a world away, right? Some uniquely European kind of crazy. But what if I told you it wasn't? The story takes a really surprising turn, much closer to home. So you have to ask, was this raw, open-road racing just some kind of wild Italian fever dream? Was this sort of beautiful, terrifying madness really just confined to the mountains of Sicily? The answer, amazingly, lies in a place you would never expect, a city archive in Philadelphia. This right here, it's a finding aid from the Fairmount Park Commission. This isn't a racing magazine. It's an official historical record, documenting everything from land deeds to park events. And if you dig deep into that official record, you find this incredible line. It talks about all the historical events in the park's history, the Battle of Germantown in 1777, the Centennial Exposition, and then early auto racing beginning in 1908, also in West Fairmount Park. That's right, the same spirit, the same idea of racing on public roads through public spaces was happening right in the heart of an American city. But, this romantic, untamed era, it just couldn't last forever. The cars were simply getting too fast, and the beautiful idea of open road racing started to collide with a brutal and way too often a fatal reality. The 1970s really became this decade of reckoning. It starts with Jochen Rindt's death in '70. The very next year, driver Brian Redman has a horrible crash at the Targa Florio, and it takes 45 minutes for help to even get to him. By '73, the Targa's final championship race is just a mess of accidents, and one kills a spectator. 4 years later, another crash, 2 more spectators killed, and that's it. The race is canceled for good. And the danger wasn't just on those open roads. Even on dedicated tracks, you had Denny Hulme, a world champion, dying of a heart attack at 180 miles an hour in 1992. The sport had absolutely reached a breaking point. And yet, here's a twist. Despite its terrifying reputation, a really surprising statistic pops up. Over its entire 71-year history, only 9 people died at the Targa Florio. Now look, any death is a tragedy, but compare that to another road race like the Mille Miglia. 56 people died there in just 24 races. It seems like the Targa's incredibly twisty nature and its lower average speeds, ironically, might have made it safer. But in the end, it wasn't just the danger that killed this era, it was logistics. Starting in 1974, the sport's governing body, the FIA, mandated safety walls on all circuits. And trying to install those walls along a 72-kilometer course of public roads, it was financially and logistically impossible. And just like that, the age of professional, sanitized motorsport had begun. Which, of course, brings us to today. We've gone from the dusty, chaotic roads of Sicily to the polished, much safer spectacle of modern global motorsport. It is a world completely transformed by professionalism, money, and technology. And you can just see it in the numbers behind a modern, dominant team. We're talking 12 wins in 17 races, 7 1-2 finishes, a points total of 623. This level of control, it's the result of millions of dollars and just countless hours of simulation. It's not about wrestling a car through a village anymore. It's a data-driven, hyper-precise exercise in technical perfection. The contrast could not be more stark. On one side, you've got the Targa Florio around 1970. The track is public mountain roads. Safety is a few straw bales and your own good luck. The atmosphere is just raw, dangerous adventure. On the other side, the modern Singapore Grand Prix. It's a floodlit, perfectly paved city circuit, lined with concrete walls and high-tech barriers. It is, in every single sense of the word, a global entertainment spectacle. So there is no question about it. Racing today is safer, it's more professional, and it is more popular than it has ever been. But when you look back at that untamed spirit of the Targa Florio and the heroes who race there, it does leave you with a question. In sanitizing all the danger, in making it so perfect, have we lost some of that wild, unpredictable soul that made us all fall in love with it in the first place?